All right, it's like Christmas every day. So let's see what we got here. This one, I think I might know. This one, I am not sure. It's two things. This one, I think I know. Let's open this one because I don't remember what this is. Now let's put you right over here. All right, chicken holder, hold it. So we don't cut whatever it is. What did I order? What did I order? What did I order? What did I order? Two of them. Oh. Okay, interesting. I was thinking that this was going to be full. I was thinking that this was going to be full, not empty. Okay, so we don't need to open the other one. So it's basically you put something in there and then you fill it up. So there's two of them. I don't need to open the other one. A little disappointing, but it's the way it is. All right, so these two guys will get out of the thing now. All right. These guys should be for the lava car. And these are supposed to be motorcraft, and they're not even motorcraft. So the eBay ad for this is 100% false. This is just aftermarket TPMS sensors, and they show them in Ford Motorcraft bags. So this is BS. So that's like a negative review to me. That's terrible. All right, last but not least, but I need these anyway. So, but the point is like your false advertising. All right, these were purchased for the Pontiac, and they were a little dented ones, so you can see the boxes are dented. So there's one box, and here's the second box. Box is dented too, so this is supposed to be open, but this one was never opened. This is supposed to be an open box one, and safe closed. So I was waiting on door speakers so we could put the door panels back on the 96 formula that we put the window regulators in. And this one came with plugs, so you can plug this right into your factory harness and plug it right into the speaker. No cutting, no wiring, nothing, no soldering. So that's a good plus. And that was purchased from this place here. So quick shipping. All right, so that was that. Purchased that. Door panels, these are supposed to be the same size for the kicker panels in the back, so we'll see. And we'll throw these peanuts out. Okay, so we're back on the lava car. We went with the 45s. This is the damaged side. We had 45s in the front. We just got rid of the 40s in the back. So let's see if I remember how to activate the TPMS so I can reset it. So I think it was 1, 2, 3. Push on the brake. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we start on the left front. So that was 6 times. Okay, I got this little tool here. We go to the valve stem. Good. Now let's see if these sensors. Oh, we might actually get it. We might actually get this car to talk. Sweet. And then you turn your key off. Okay, now let's see if this car resets itself. Oh my goodness. Light is out. First time. $15 on eBay, maybe $10. And very simple do it yourself. Can we finally have a car that has no lights on it? Although when I put the newer style pedal in, it did pop off the engine thing. So let's go take it for a ride and go from there. But the light is out, tires are tight, exhaust is pretty loud, and let's go take this for a test drive. Alright, look, this will be our first test drive without a check engine light. Look at that, unbelievable. Finally, no check engine light, no TPMS lights. 355 gears. That's why it's whining. Alright, let's pause this. Back again next day. Had to close up because I forgot I had an appointment. This car's a mess. But let's try to make it a little better. So my Alpine is in. Next I have to do is get these two married, since the aftermarket company plug is different than the factory plug. But it's actually not even a factory plug, because I think this car was a roll-up window car that was converted to power windows. I really wish it had roll-up windows in it. Just a cheap 6-speed roll-up window hardtop. If I could find roll-up window regulators, I would do it. And I bet you that's where they came through, right here, right down there. All right, so let's get this these two married and see if we could get this window to work. All right, so I just did a first guess. I went red with blue and blue with black, and this inside one, look at that, going down, going up. Sweet. Now let's get a little more spray in that track, and let's get those guys married correctly, and let's get this door back together. Sweet. That makes it a hell of a lot easier. All right, the door panel's back on. Tired for a 96. This one main screw here, little screw there, and there's a big screw there, but part of the door panel is broken. And now I'm just gluing this in to see if that will work. If not, I have to get a switch and work on that. And then we don't have one of those. But remember, it's a 96, it's not new, it's not perfect. So let's get back onto that side and get the speaker on that side. Alright, speakers in. Doesn't sound too bad. I don't want to play it too loud because I'll get my video monetary blah 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 because I'm playing someone else's music. But you know, you have to actually have views to make money. So doesn't really matter. But it doesn't sound bad, so let's just do it real quick. So that's not too bad. So balance. That's one side. And that's the other side. Thank you, Michael. Anyway, oh, I actually got to leave the keys in ignition because we want to see if the windows work. So this is my dilemma, that the last person decided that they were going to cut the harness and put all that crap like that. Now I got to figure out which is which to go up and down. And I'm not going to sit here and bore you with that because I wouldn't want to watch it either. All right, give me a minute or two or whatever, 3 or 4. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, Christmas every day in the Mustang world. Not really, but welcome back. So we have bought something for the California car. There's no thumbnail on this yet. This is just an opening of a item. So with 260,000 miles on the California car, I don't think the shocks have ever been changed. So let's get the scissor out because the last time I did that I had to use it again. The other day, I like a certain brand. So the other day I saw one of the guy that parts out Mustangs had a Shelby in there with 60,000 miles. And look, I am going to need scissors. He had these two guys for a reasonable price. And the, could have used a smaller box, huh? Let's see if I can find something that you guys can lean against so I can use both hands. Right here would be perfect, right? Let's see. Can you go against the box? There you go. All right. So he had a I think a 12 Shelby, and he parts them out. He doesn't fix them, even though that car should have been fixed because it was a light hit in the front. But for me, if I buy these things new, it's like $175 each. So, being that this was a low mile car, and I like this particular brand, I know that the little bit of mileage that's on them and the way that car was taken care of, the way it looked, except for crashing, right? You know, nobody wants to crash their car. But we'll do one at a time. So that's some wrap job, huh? Holy fudge. So these are, whoa, where you going, buddy? Cameraman. Come on, stay still, cameraman. Watch my counter, huh? So, Bilstein is a German brand. I've been using them a long time, and I've never had issues with them. And they make a nice quality part. The parts last a long time. And I've always been happy with the way the car drives after they're installed. So the amount of plastic on this is incredible, huh? Holy cow. Okay. So here, can you see? This is the rear shock for the bilstein, and that almost looks brand new. And this is going to go into. Oh my God! Feel how tight that is. Look at that come back out. That's nice and tight. These are going to go into the California car. So not that I'm going to do it today, but let's get this one unwrapped and let's go out to the garage because I have another surprise. All right, so you just saw the rear shocks, these guys, and now I came across these on Facebook Marketplace. Low miles, looks like they're in pretty good shape. I don't have this sensor, but I can just zip tie this wire up out of the way. And I'm gonna have to reuse the shock tops and the springs from that car. But my biggest concern is gonna have a nut that holds the shaft. And I think, oh, look at that down there. Come back down there. Oh, there you are. This is what I was looking for, just for an example. Well, that feels pretty tight. A little bit of play. Makes me wonder if that's gonna be an issue. Is this shaft right here, and that shaft right there. But once the thing is all tight, I don't really see it moving, to be honest with you. I don't think it's gonna do that. I mean, this moves a lot. I guess we won't know until we take it apart. But that was from the Lava's car park strut. All right, so now we have 4. So we're gonna drop them in that guy, because if I put them in the Lava car, I can get rid of the Lava car as of now and still make a little money. If I get rid of this car, I'll never make any money. So I might as well just make it a good driver like it is and put new struts in it. All right, let me come back. Now, with this guy up here and that guy underneath there and that guy there, I'm not sure how long it's gonna be. All right, cameraman had to take a break because he needed to recharge his battery. He's not used to working more than 10 minutes a day. So you're gonna be stuck with me for a little bit. All right, so even though these struts don't look old, I have no clue how old them are. These say Ford Motor Company on them right here. So they could be the original ones. I did replace the springs, but I don't know if it's going to be in this video. I might have said it already. The other day I went up my upper Florida and I grabbed this. Let me get this guy out of here. I grabbed this guy for the front. This is from a GT 500. It has a sensor on it that I don't need, but I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to tie it off. Made by Ford. Look, a little Ford emblem on there. They look about the same width for the spindle, and it has this. So this would have been the driver's side. So my biggest dilemma is the shaft here. So let's get this left side out here and get it apart and see what happens. Okay, so We got the brakes apart. Our new hub's still doing good. Nice and clean. A little bit of brake dust on it, but then again, I've put a couple thousand miles in the car. So let's get the brake sensor here, which is a 10mm ABS sensor. Let's get that unplugged from the strut. Let's get the hose unplugged from the strut. And then we just got the 2 bolts that hold the spindle on. And we're getting closer. All right, back. Spindle's apart, brakes are out, lines are disconnected from the strut. Now I just gotta take that 1 bolt from up top, right here, and the strut will come out. And then we'll match them up with this, and we'll get out the strut machine over there, and we'll take it apart. So let's get this guy unbolted from the body, which is already loose, which you guys saw me doing before. So, but I'll need 2 hands for this because that's just gonna fall right out. All right, so here's the old one out, and here's the new old one going in. So we have to move this bucket. Let's move this Trans Am light. Can you believe these lights are now $250? You wouldn't believe what I paid for that light. I didn't pay $250, I'll tell you that much. Extension cord over here. My little muffler projects. We're gonna go over here, out of the way. Okay, muffler project number 2. I'm gonna try to make one of these Mustangs have a little bit of a good sound. And now we pull you out. This is a mechanical, cheap strut machine. We'll have it like this. This side here for the strut is going to get lined up with this hole here. Okay, and this drop on these is not too bad. These are an inexpensive set of springs off of probably eBay, I think, because I don't need to have $600 coilovers or whatever, you know. I'm not that type of person. So let's get a socket for this. I think it might be a 21. Let's see, the same as the lug nuts. Is this the 21? This is a 21. Up 21, good. Okay, let's get a little compression, which means squeeze the nose. And let's pop this apart and see what we got. Okay, struts apart. Now you can see how dead this strut is. This is 260,000 original miles. It looks like it's been replaced, but it hasn't. It's just me washed it the last time this car was apart. All right, so this will be our replacement right here. That's going in like this. Front piece locks it in. Turn the screw to keep it in the adjuster. Doesn't have to be too tight, just enough to be there. Okay, so this one didn't have any rubber on the bottom, so we put a spring above it, and that goes like that. All right, we're gonna get our compression on, so we're gonna go arms, one here and one on. Let's go to the next ones. One there, one there. One and one. Okay, now we'll compress the spring enough to get a strut top in. Oh, I gotta do this 2 hands. This is dangerous stuff. Okay, so we are together. So that looks good. So this part here rotates in your car. I put some grease on it. This stays stationary in the spindle, and that's it. So let's get, now that I know that that's good, let's get a little, because I don't know, that looks like right here we'd have a little bit of a grease, right? Let's put a little put of oil on the seal here. Oh, your struts are leaking, sir. You need to replace your struts. Look, this thing hasn't gone up and down in God knows how many years. Whoever had this, these struts are supposed to be from, let's say, a 10 Shelby or something, or an 8 Shelby. So, who knows when the last time that piston went up and down. All right, let's get this back in the car, and then I will come back on the video. All right, so we got the 2 bolts here holding the top in, and now it's just reassemble this. So it looks pretty good now. So we'll get this all in. This will spin every time you turn. This wire will not get used. And ready? I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Boop. Nope, I don't have that talent. Sorry. All right, passenger side. So while cameraman's over there snoozing, let's get this done. So 2:15. Let's see how long it takes to get this guy complete. All right, 10 minutes later, and the strut is out. It's nice when you have all the tools laid out, then you know. Okay, strut is in. So we are going to get this out of the way. As you can see, we have a factory Ford strut. This boot has seen better days. Let's get it apart so we get the other one in. And the diameter of the strut, the strut on the Ford one is much thinner than the strut on the Bilstein one, even though they're both Ford. And you can just see the difference in the diameters, which is what I was talking about. But at the time of making the video, I was being a little, let's just say, not politically correct. So we have edited it out. All right, thank you. And there we go, 45 minutes later, we're back, assembled. Everything's in there. This time I didn't put the line in a loop here. I made it, pretended it was part of the harness and just put it right there. It looks a little neater, I think. I might go and change that other side. All right, next things I want to do is the rear shocks. So our fronts are tight, our sway bar is tight, our ball joints never touched, our strut bolts are tight, and where is that upper one? Here we go. And ta-da! All braces back on, and all 4 bolts are tight on both sides. So technically the fronts are done. But I got to put the wheels back on. But I think we're going to rotate the tires because I want to see if, being that this car pulls to the right, if it's the tires or the wheel alignment. Okay, so next thing on our list is going to be rear shocks. So let's get the rear tires off. I might have to lower the car again. Let's put those tools away, and let's throw those in the recycle pile. All right, look at these beauties, huh? Now these are Bilstein's rear shocks. And let's see, this is a factory, I think this is a factory rear shock for a Mustang because it has like factory number. Yeah, I think so, because let's see, different top. This was for something else, that's for that. Yeah, so that's got to be the Mustang one. Okay, so this is what your Mustang comes with, and this is what we're putting in. So this one in the black does look longer, but sometimes length isn't always better. And I'm going to explain that because the resistance that this strut has and the diameter of the bore in this one is much better than this one. As we just saw in the struts, the bore of the Bilstein was much bigger than the little hot dog style strut. So we're going to pull, these are from a parts car. Nothing wrong with them, they worked fine. Still tight. Look how much I'm putting a lot of pressure on that. And they come back out. So that's still a good shock. So that would be one that if I needed one for a car getting rid of, that would go in there. But since the California car here, what's the best way to explain it? The best way to explain the California car is that it has too much mileage and I got too much money into it to ever get my money back. So might as well make it ride the best it can, make it look the best it can. I have another fender for here, one of the old man's boo-boos. And when the lava car over there goes for paint, he'll get the fender to paint this fender, and then I'll just have to get a new decal for this. But rear shocks, this car also has lowering springs in the back. So these rear shocks, I need to pop the trunk, and 1 bolt on the bottom, 1 bolt on the top, and I'll probably have to support the rear end. So let's get that other wheel off on the other side, stop talking so much and wasting valuable time, and let's see if this gun from Lowe's will bust the wheel off. All right, now that the front wheels are on, that were the rear wheels, I did notice a little play in this side when the wheel is off. So I got a little side to side movement when I do from this here to this here, and I wiggle it back and forth. I have a little side movement. Up and down movement is good. Side movement is a little bit of movement, and it turns out to be this inner tie rod. So this inner tie rod here has a little bit of play in it, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. If I hit it hard, you hear a little noise, but very little. So I'll have to get an inner tie rod for this car and then take it back for a wheel alignment. All right, so let's see what's necessary for this car to take the rear shocks off of. Small bolt here looks like a 15, and I don't know what the tops are. We got to pop the trunk, and I ended up putting in the track pack mufflers, so you can see that the tips are straight tips. That's a 13-14 tip. So my mufflers were starting to go bad on the bottom here. Although they weren't making noise, but they were starting to go bad. So my goal is to build a muffler inside this muffler on my other one to get my other car quieter. But that will happen. All right, let's get this in and go from there. All right, so let's get the creepers out. The bolt is out. So I got the rear end supported by 2 jack stands, even though it's on the hoist. And the rear bolt that goes here is a 15 millimeter, and this has a locking nut that goes on this side. So that goes there, that comes out like that. So now this is loose. Okay, the bolt up top, I loosened them up. Not many threads are left holding it on. So let's cross over, take my wrenches with me. Let's cross over to the other side. Go right there. Now we could put the 15 millimeter here. I won't have the strength to do it with one hand, so I'll have to put you guys down because I have to put the wrench on here, and then I have to take the second wrench and put it on there to give me more leverage, and then I can get it loose. All right, let me come back. All right, and just like that, it's out. So the only thing you got to remember is that this guy here goes in this little slot here when you tighten it back up. I didn't realize that I had it down this way. So this way it only has a little bit of a movement. So look at that, I learned something. Okay, let's get these tops out. All right, so from the outside I put the vice grip, just held the top of the shock, and from the inside of the trunk I did the last couple of turns, about 20 turns. Let's do this on the driver's side. So you'll see, just slam this right here, but I have to get it tighter. Cameraman took a 28 for the day. Oh, we fell. Cameraman took a 28 for the day, so he's doing something on his boat. I don't know what he was doing. Guy. These guys can't work more than 1 day, 2 days. They want to be fishing all the time. Okay, so now this is clamped into there. And now I'll take my light, put it over there, get myself on the little thing. I'm sure you guys don't want to be bouncing around, but I figured I might as well show you what I'm doing, talking about. Now, lefty loosey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, now it's out. Didn't fall, which is surprising. The other one fell. Okay. And we're good. And we're out. All right, let me pause this. All right, so are these shocks still good? Well, technically they do come back out, but for a car with that much mileage, I'm just gonna recycle them. So, all right, now we got you guys. You guys are up. Let me get them bolted into the bottom, and then we'll do the top together. All right, so we're back. All right, so let me put my glasses on. So the top of the bilsteins are a 17 millimeter. So I'm gonna take the long ratchet here. I got an Allen key in there holding this shaft from turning, because you know you don't want your shaft to turn. You just want your shaft to stay there while it's tightening. And this is a 17 millimeter nut on top of the bilstein, and you'll see the threads slowly coming through. So how tight do I make this? Well, being that it's got a locking nut. Wherever I stop, it will stay. So I don't want to crush the rubber too much, because, you know, if you crush the rubber too much, it's not good. So I think I'm going to be happy right there, because the rubber is about the width of the silver, and it's not too compressed, and I think that should be good. Now, as for the bottom, I was able to get the bottom in, and I just have to tighten it once the car goes in the air. All right, so let's get the passenger side in and get done with this little shock maintenance project. All right, here we are on the passenger side. So you can see the thread is coming up and the nut is going down, and the angle, whatever that angle thing is called, the Allen key is holding the shaft from turning. So now, how tightened do I make it? Well, I think probably that is more than tight enough. I might come out a little. Maybe that, maybe a little less. Oops, sorry. Maybe a little less on that one. That one feels pretty good. It's not too crushed. It's crushed a little bit, but the good thing about these type of nuts is they won't loosen up, so this will always stay that height. I mean, I probably could go. Let's undo the whole thing first. I'm not going to take the whole thing off, but I'm going to leave it like that. So this is not too compressed. If I feel like a noise in the back, then I'll tighten it up more. But little squirrels or something chewing nuts back here. Hey, fuckers. All right, so that's a top. So on this car, all you gotta do is push, get that light out of the way first, and then you push the carpet back like that, and this just stays there. Nothing to hold it in. Okay, so I gotta figure out how to crawl out of here. All right, so let's take a look at the back now that we got it up in the air, so you can see progress. So back shocks, I just tightened these up by hand. So you can see these nut plate here are supposed to be in the little pieces here. I didn't realize that when I put it back together last time. And same over here, little clips hold these guys from turning. And these are tightened. Is there a specific value? I don't know. But now the car has good shocks all around. We got new sway bar links in it. I did them last time with this one's here and here and here and here. I got a new set of cats in it, but the cats don't like the car, or the car don't like the cats. We're gonna need an inner tie rod is the next thing. We got the new struts in the front, looking good. And look at that, no oil leaks. Zero, nada, nothing. So my oil pan and my rear main seal and my transmission are all dry. So it's good. All right, see a little leaking out of here, huh? Maybe I should tighten that down. 13 millimeter. Okay, I do have a little vibration when I drive, so I'm gonna take a look at that, why it's up in the air. All right, so I got a couple of turns out of here, and I got a couple of turns out of here to make it a little tighter. But I still have a little noise somewhere in the middle here. Reminds me of like dry shaft blood. Dry shaft feels pretty good. All right, let's get these tires back on and get this thing out of here. Shop time is over. All right, and just like that, the wheels are back on. So looks good. Bilstein's in the back, Bilstein's in the front. So let's get this guy lowered. We'll snug up the tires once we pull it out on the driveway, and we'll go from there. And then we're gonna put the other one away. We'll be back. All right, I can already see the difference with the suspension. Now there's space between the car and the tire, and in the back here there's space between the car and the tire, because before this tire was really tucked with the back of the car. Now there's space. Let's pull this thing out and let's go tighten the rims, because pump the brakes. Good. 259. Okay. Well, let's reset to see if we get these tire pressure gauges reset. Oops, didn't smash the mirrors, thank goodness. Alright, let's reset these. Let's go get the tire pressure resetter. See if I can do that. Alright, so we're cruising and we're sitting at speed limit. Let's throw the cruise control on. Cruise control's working. And definitely feels a lot tighter. Definitely feels a lot tighter. It's tracking much better now, because now before we'd always drift to the right, and now it's kind of opposite. So I wonder if it was the tires, you know. Now it's tracking to the left, so it might be the tires. Oh, of course the transmission doesn't like the gas pedal. So see that little yellow lights? I gotta go back and reset the whole car. So I gotta turn the cruise thing off. Let's turn this off. I got my ID on me, yeah, so I can take it for a pull. Let's go for a pull. Should we go up the bridge and do a loop and come back? Traffic looks like it's moving pretty well. All right, let's go up the bridge. Unless there's traffic on it, then we'll just go straight. All right, so the two lights went out once I used the gas pedal again. So that's the issue. There's two yellow lights down there that go on occasionally. Let's see, we got anybody going to the right? Alright, let's go and just make a U-turn and go back. So up where that white truck is, we'll turn around. Because if I go up the ramp, that means I gotta go to the next exit to turn around. And the people down here don't have any patience. So let's swing a Yui and see how it feels with the suspension. No one's coming. Okay. Well, it feels okay. I'm going to tighten the struts up, I think, a little. I wonder if that little bit of movement in the strut top does it, but feels pretty good. Yeah, it feels pretty good. We'll tighten the struts up a little, and I think that will cause it to be done. So it's driving pretty good now. Got good response. All right, let's bring it back to the shop. All right, so much for dropping the video tonight because I thought I was done. But here's the issue. Does anybody see this problem? Okay, so remember I had the banging noise? This part of the strut went through the strut top. So let me see if I can find the strut top that I have, the spare one, to show what we're talking about. Spare strut top, where are you, buddy? Oh, I don't know, Kevin. You don't know how to put your tools away. All right, let me put it on pause, see if I find it. All right, you might be wondering why we're back in the lift. I took the strut out, and what happened was the bottom of the strut went through the strut top, right? So the shaft would go up a little too high, so I needed to put a spacer. So I found a couple of spaces in my pile, and I put a spacer underneath between this piece here and the strut top, so that this way this piece here would not be able to pass the strut top and go through it like it was doing. All right, so let's get this side assembled and take the other side apart. All right, so we're back together. So like before, sway bar in, nuts here are in, wires are in, brakes I never took apart this time. This time I just took apart was this bolt here, pulled out the line for this line right here, going back in there. Okay, and that's it. And the ABS is bolted, not the ABS, but the caliper hose is bolted right back there. So let's pop out the other side. And upstairs is not all the way tight. I gotta do that once I drop the car down. So we'll pull this side apart and we'll do the same thing. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Let's put the light here. I'm gonna take the spring off. Okay. Okay, spring's off. So the strut top is set here. And I see how it falls all the way through. We can't have that because then that means that this would have to get tightened all the way like that. We need it to where it gets tightened like that. So we need to build a spacer like that. So my thought is this big guy is going to go here because that will keep that bottom end there. These little red ones will go on here because this will be the same diameter there. And then I got two heavy duty. I got to find one more heavy duty. So we're going to find one more heavy duty to that one. And that will bring us up like that. Will be 3. So what I'll do is I'll take 2 on the bottom. I'll put 3 gold in, 1 here, and then this one there. So we need one more. We need one more gold there. And then what happens is this here will hit the bottom of here like that, and that space there won't allow this to travel through there, and then it will sit like that. So if we have one more height, we will be like that. So let's find one more gold. All right, so that's our spacer. So that will black washer there. This one here is going to be the same. See, it's going to be the same as the inside, so it's not going to allow anything to pass like that. So actually I should squeeze this in between there and there so it stays up. Not that it really matters, but anyway, let me put this together. All right, we're finally back together. So something so simple that I didn't even think of took 2 times to do. So which was day, now is night. And we are talking about 7:30 now. Whoops, 7:30. When did we get in the garage today? 12. Got to drop a 28 on this one, huh? I mean, let's drive an overtime slip. That would be even better. All right, so let's put the wheel on and put it on the ground and see if that's any better.